Brian, can you get me the big cutting board, please? This I'd like in the trash.
The reason it keeps falling is because she's hemorrhaging.
Internal injury?
Yes. We need to do her surgery right away. Stop the bleeding. Dr. Johnson? She's waking up.
Listening. Tell me, what do you need from me to know?
Important to have good cutlery.
You have to get rid of the skin.
Right. Either that or you cut it off when you're cooking it.
No, you can't cure through the skin.
Oh.
They're stunned. Stop being one of those, dear.
You're in a lot of trouble. Your case gonna go south.
We rescued you Thursday.
That's skin and not fat.
Yes.
You must be so disappointed in me.
See this here? It's like it's fascia, or
Right.
muscle.
Right.
You know, earlier today, your mother called you her greatest blessing. I'm so proud of
Are you filming this?
Yes.
you. Many years with you.
I am not a butcher. Please note, I am an amateur.
Not only with
But I have made this recipe before.
for the incredible person you are.
I don't deserve those words. Whatever we do.
That fat and skin trimmed off of it essentially.
Looks good.
Tiny bit more here.
Looks good.
But that won't interfere with the cure because you want the cure to penetrate. The meat, okay.
There is a problem. And it is on you all.
There we go, buddy.
You told me you were very confident that no one could access the data on the flash drive.
So each one of these pork loin pieces is about 2 to 2.5 pounds.
Yep.
Okay. This was it. This pork loin was 8.20 pounds, and then we've cut off probably at least a pound of fat here. Okay, we're going to prepare our brine cure for our peameal bacon, and I prefer to use this. I've used it in the past. This is Morton Tender Quick for home meat cure, and it contains salt, sugar, and 0.5% sodium nitrite already in it, along with a little propylene glycol for flavor. And there are directions in the back for making a dry cure as well as a brine. And for making a brine, it's 1 cup of Tender Quick and 4 cups of cool water, and then submerge your meat in it. But we make a cure recipe here for peameal, so we're going to make 6 cups liquid of brine, and we're also going to do some injection into the meat. So in the bowl here, I've already measured out 1.5 cups of the Morton Tender Quick, and I'm going to start the mixing process by starting with 2 cups of water, and this is reverse osmosis water. So, and it's room temperature. That's going to help us dissolve our salt. So we've got 2 cups. I'm going to use my spoon to stir it. So this is our sodium nitrite as well as our sugar mixture. You can see it's dissolving. Once I have this dissolved, we're going to go ahead and add our other ingredients to make the brine, and then we're going to go ahead, inject the meat, and submerge the meat. And if it turns out we need to make a little bit more, then we will make a little bit more. This isn't, it takes a little bit of stirring because I'm left-handed and not as efficient as a right-hander would
And you're
be.
using a spoon instead of a whisk.
Well, I don't know that a whisk will do any differently. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we want the brine to be cold. We don't want it to be warm when we inject the meat. So this is water that's been in the fridge at 37 degrees, and it's also reverse osmosis water. So there's 1 cup and 2 cups. So now we've used 4 cups of our 6 of water. So let's keep stirring that up. And now for our Peameal recipe, we're going to add 3 teaspoons, or actually this is 4 teaspoons for this ratio, of kind of lightly crushed black peppercorns. And we'll keep stirring. We're adding about 3/8 of a cup of brown sugar. We're adding in a tablespoon of garlic powder. And we're going to add in a 1.5 cups of real maple syrup. And the syrup was at room temperature, so it flowed in pretty easily. Now we still owe ourselves 2 more cups of water. So what I'm going to do, rather than waste that maple syrup, I'm going to pour my water into the maple syrup container so we don't waste anything. This is our cold water again. And go ahead, give it a good stir in here. And this is our brine and cure mixture. Now, let me make a little bit of space.
Okay.
Alright, so what we're going to do next is we've got our brine, we've already trimmed our pork loins, and we're going to do an injection into the pork loins of the brine. And remember, we kind of have the peppercorns in there, but this is a food injector, and I'm just going to go in about every inch here. Whoops, that's not helpful.
No, it's not.
And
So, you know, oh,
what happened there? Well, did we get that on film?
a little bit.
As long as it's on film, that's
This is live television. You never know what
live
you're going to get.
television. And remember, we are not professionals.
Amateurs.
So you really want to increase the weight of your meat by about 5% to 10%. So if you were figuring how much to inject, if a piece of meat weighed 1 pound, you'd want it to weigh 10% more than 1 pound after you injected it.
So 1.1 pounds.
If you're good at math. And this way we're making sure that we get our sodium nitrate, our curing right down into the center of that meat, so we're going to get that good pink look after the cure is completed.
It's an efficient injector.
Well, it's got a side portal on it. That's why you're seeing it sometimes come out.
That's true. I did see that.
Here, I'll show you here. See, it squirts out there from the side, not just the bottom.
Right.
Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now, we're going to go ahead, give this another good stir, and we're going to hope we made enough to completely immerse our meat. We don't want our meat hanging out in the air.
It's floating.
And it looks like we did it, but it is floating, and meat can't float to be cured because that means some of it will be exposed in the air. So we're going to solve that problem. And the way we're going to solve that problem is put a plate on top of the meat to sink it.
Or a meat weight.
Correct, the meat weight.
So that works out.
So now all the meat is submerged under the brine, and we're going to cap it off. Into our large Rubbermaid container, which is pretty airtight.
And where will this be going?
Well, this will be going into the refrigerator, which is set for 37 degrees. And we're just going to leave it alone. Brining time, curing time is anywhere from 4 to 6 or 7 days, depending on how you like your pea meal. I'm going to probably let this go. Today here is Wednesday. So if we wanted to serve this on Sunday, we could go ahead. That would give us a cure all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday evening would be the 4th day, Monday the 5th day. So after we are done with the cure, we're going to go ahead and roll it in our yellow cornmeal after drying it out some. And we'll 7 days. Smell that, Dan?
I
Good
do.
smell.
I do.
So we've been sunk in the juice. Now I'm going to take these pieces out and put them in. What I wind up doing is cutting the piece. Ooh, this is nice and tight. I'm going to wipe off these peppercorns here. Tell you what, we'll give it a little rinse off.
Yeah.
Help me get them peppercorns.
You should
off.
probably do that with all of them.
Okay. This meat is tight and dense.
Now it's ready to go on the smoker.
Yeah, we're making American Canadian bacon. But we're not. Now this piece I'm going to take and I'm going to cut off a piece of the end, and we're going to cook it in the skillet so we can check it for flavor and how salty, if we want to put it into the cornmeal or we want to rinse it with some couple of fresh water soaks to get any salt out if we think it's too salty. Okay, let me get the...
I am.
So I'm going to slice it thin. Beautiful. Piece for Dan and a piece for me. Look at that. Nice and thin like your regular bacon. Get our skillet.
It's all surface area. The flavor has nowhere to hide.
Video.
We're live.
Alright, so I got a little sizzle going there. You just want to cook it so there's no pink left in it. Now that cornmeal on the end is going to make a nice crust around the slices, but this is our test slices to make sure we're happy or want to rinse it to get any salt out of it. I like mine a little brown on each side. Since we got a non-stick skillet, we're pretty good here. Okay, so you see we got a little brown here on it. That's the way I kind of like it. If you're slicing it for sandwiches, you can slice it thin like this and just pile them up on your sandwich, or you can slice it thicker, make it like a ham steak thickness, or you could even take a nice long piece, 6, 8, 10 inches long, and put it in the oven and roast it, and then just serve it as a sliced roast. Ooh, that's looking good, Dan.
It's looking very good.
Okay, we're going to go ahead, take these out and taste them and let you know what we think. Well, we decided our slices were a little salty for our tastes. We're going to go ahead and see if we can rinse out a little bit of the salt in it. This is just cold water rinse.
Guess it doesn't matter if it's RO.
No.
You don't want to let it soak in the water?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to put a little ice on it so it doesn't warm up. And we'll let it soak for about an hour.
Sounds just a good idea.
That'll help draw out some of that salt. And then we'll show you crusting it up with peameal.
Yeah, I think the soaking's definitely needed.
Well, that's to be expected. Remember, we did a 7-day cure.
Right.
So you're going to get a lot of salt.
It's country peameal.
That's right.
So
Okay.
what ice?
We're just going to set a timer for an hour. There we go.
We're live.
Okay, it's been a little over an hour, still got a little ice in here. We've gone ahead and done a freshwater soak to eliminate some of the saltiness from the meat. Take the pieces out. Okay. Dry out our pan real well. Remember, the cornmeal is used to keep the meat dry. It's already been cured. Give it another good wipe. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to dry off these pieces of pea meal because we don't want mushy cornmeal on it. We want good dry cornmeal. So we got that on.
Get peppercorns on there.
Well, we'll get rid of that peppercorn.
On there.
Don't want to see a peppercorn. Not gonna have that. Okay. And so our cornmeal is going to act as like a seal. So
A little piece of peppercorn there. There we go.
our videographer is outstanding at spotting a peppercorn.
Eagle eye.
Eagle-eyed. Okay. So let's move this out of the way. Now we're going to take, we got yellow cornmeal. This is the brand we have right in our local store, but any that's available to you will work well. We want to go ahead, put this on, and we want to get an area, we want to make sure we get our ends good and coated in cornmeal. Our bottoms.
The end is the money piece.
Alright. So we want to get these good and coated. And I'm going to kind of rub this in real well here. You want a nice layer sticking down. Some people we've seen put corn syrup or maple syrup on their Peameal bacon. We don't really do that. We haven't really done that. Come on, cornmeal, get in there. Because remember, we want it nice and dry.
You can even take the pan and shake it.
So we're going to go ahead here.
Am I right?
Huh?
You could even take the pan and shake it.
Get this patted down and onto our bacon. And same thing here. Get this all patted down and
Coated.
coated up. Yeah, this is dry to my hand. You see there is no moisture left on my hands at all. There goes a... There's a little on the bacon, and we're going to get rid of that on the pork loin. Okay, and you can see that this pan is staying nice and dry. See that?
That is essentially your
And
finished
that's
product.
how you want it, whether you're going to use maple syrup to coat it on there or not. You want your pea meal essentially dry. And we like to leave it like this, keep some moisture out. And now you could go ahead, you could cover this with plastic wrap, each individual piece. You could freeze them, or you could go ahead and cover it with aluminum foil and keep them in the fridge. They're going to stay, I would, in the fridge. They're going to be good at least for a week because they're all cured meat. So we're now going to go ahead and we're going to cut off a slice like we did before and fry it up and see how it tastes. And then we're going to make sandwiches.
And that's your finished product right there. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Okay, so now we're going to perform the ceremonial slicing of the pea meal, and we're slicing this like for sandwiches.
Always use a good sharp knife.
Yeah, I've sharpened this one recently. Got that nice cured redness to it. And it's dense because of the brining. Doesn't that look good?
You're cutting on your tines there.
Well, we'll move that, son. Sonny boy. So the moral of this story is you too can convert $2 a pound pork loin into $8 or $9 a pound pea meal with not that much effort involved, and really enjoy yourselves. I think it's enough to start for a couple sandwiches. Got a little sizzle going there.
So our pea meal is frying, and then we'll plate it up on a bun, and we'll have a sandwich.
You want mustard on your pea meal sandwich, Dan? So serve no pea meal before it's time. What is going on, madam?
Does anybody actually watch it ever again?
Well, it just started. Well, this is actually, yeah, shootout. Shootout for day one. Watching, Dan? He scored! 2-1. Dan, you watching?
Alright, starting to get a little brown and a little crust on these. Just the way you want them.
Whenever you want to play the news, we can. But I know you want to do a few things first.
Alright, this is the finale.
The season finale. Now you'll notice the curve matches the curve of the roll. That's intentional on a good pea meal sandwich. Right? That's a generous portion. You want more on there to start or no? Okay. That'll be $6.95, sir. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our film.